travel with me.
Hey fellow humans, Mina here. Welcome back to another drive and talk or swim and talk. I don't know, depending on whatever Bali footage I end up using when I edit this. But today we're talking about a book that I really enjoyed. I read it like a few years ago. It's called The Memory Police by Yoko Ogawa. And I'm pretty sure it was translated into English. It's by a Japanese author, but that's beside the point. Essentially, the whole premise of the book is in this, I guess we're gonna assume Japan, but like it could literally be anywhere. There are police that just decide one day that I don't know, apples don't exist. So now everyone forgets that apples are a thing. Like, the apples themselves don't really disappear. They kind of like go and take them and disappear them. But like your memory like of an apple and every feeling associated with apples is now just gone. Bamboozled. Oh my God. So yeah, it's a really cool concept. And yeah, so this was for sure an interesting book to read, and the concept and the unique storytelling was gripping from start to finish. And apologies if this review is all over the place. I have many thoughts on the book. Also, probably spoilers ahead, so if you want to read this book, which I highly recommend, be sure to do that and then come back and check in this video and see if you agree or disagree with me. So yeah, in this book we have an unknown narrator, which I named Megui after a friend of mine. No other real reason, I just wanted to give the narrator a name. We don't get much of a description of her other than she's female, occasionally wears makeup, and has long-ish hair. But that doesn't take away from the story. In this way, it helps us become, air quotes, Megui, and puts us in her shoes. The whole idea that things disappear is very interesting. When the memory police make something disappear, of which we never found out why they do this other than to be dicks, I guess, because some of the things they deem useless are not, things aren't actually gone. The objects still exist. People just simply lose all memory associated with them and then get rid of the physical objects, which is interesting. However, what's interesting is that some people don't forget. They live remembering everything that was disappeared. It's never explained why some people are like this, but it adds to the mystery. Like, 90% of the characters don't have names. For example, our MC. And I have a theory that one of the points of the at one point the memory police decided that names were useless, so they made them disappear. However, that can't be the case, as there are like 3 people who do have names, one being the MC's editor, R, a letter, but it still counts as a name. Oh, which, by the way, the MC is a writer, which I do enjoy books that involve authors, which, you know, because I'm one myself. But yeah, I also enjoyed the story within a story. It's paralleled with the main story so perfectly. Megui is a novelist, and we get to see snippets of her work throughout the book. It's unfortunate that her novels disappear at some point, but somehow at the end she managed to finish her story, and it was every bit as sad as the actual ending for the book. And the ending of the whole memory police was pretty sad. No real conclusion. It was abrupt. It's like the loss of memories of things that just disappeared. She just kind of died. Big spoiler. I thought maybe Megui would figure out a way to remember things, or figure why or how the memory police made people forget things, but she didn't. She just lived her life until she forgot about her entire self. As a side note, I did notice a few inconsistencies. One of the things being that already disappeared. Like, photos disappeared one at a time, but there was one time when Megui and the old man are being ID checked by the memory police. Megui mentions that the police are checking identification that has photographs on them, but how does that work if they had disappeared in an earlier scene? Like, they burn everything that has an association to do with the thing that disappeared. That being said, while I didn't particularly like how it ended, because it ended rather abruptly and very sadly, I'm not mad at the book. I actually really enjoyed it, and it was an easy and fast read, and I highly recommend it. So how about you guys, my fellow humans? Have you ever heard of the Memory Police? Would you ever read it, or do you agree or disagree with my thoughts on this book? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear them. Let's have a discussion. But yeah, it's very kind of dystopian in a way, and like, we're getting full spoilers right now, but yeah, she literally forgets like her limbs. They're like, one day they're like, the Memory Police decided, like, I don't know, your left legs are now disappeared, and so everyone still has a left leg, but they just completely like don't realize that they have a left leg, and so now they gotta like live pretending they have no left leg. It's a really interesting concept, and as the book goes on, I think they just like eventually make everyone forget like how to exist, essentially, which I don't know the point of it other than a really cool story, but it does make a really sad ending. You just forget how to exist. That's really sad, and it just ends, and no one remembers how to not exist. I don't know. Yeah, I would hate to live in this kind of world, but like, I suppose if I was in this kind of world, I'd just forget. But yeah, anywho, that's all I gotta say for now. If you want to keep hearing more about stuff, be sure to follow me in all your favorite socials, links below. Stay safe and take care. Bye!